Welcome everybody to the Onward VR Master League Season 9, Week 5. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's, and I am joined by my co-caster Sleepy with 2 3's. How are you today, Sleepy?
I am doing well, NightFiree, and welcome everyone to another Thirsty Thursdays here on the Onward VR Master League. We've had quite a few casts already today, NightFiree. One just a few hours ago. There's one going on over on Master League 2, and the NightFiree and I are rocking the mics here on Master League 1 for the evening, and we have a doozy of a matchup tonight. Isn't that right, NightFiree?
Oh yeah, we got a hot one on our hands. G-Men versus Blaze, pun intended. And you know, we got both teams in the lobby. Usually like to break down the stats, what these teams are going to be going up against, what we can expect, but I think we got to dive right into these pick bands, Sleepy, because both squads are chomping at the bit to get going for round 1.
Yeah, it's probably best that we do get right into that NightFiree. So why don't we mosey our way on over then to the War Room / scoreboard, and we will talk about that. So on the side of G-Men, we'll talk about the ban there first. They're going to be banning out Subway, which I guess we'll get into those talks here in a second. But on the side of Blaze, the away team, we're going to see a ban on Cargo, which that one is almost immediately clear for me. And so, NightFiree, what do you think is the reasoning behind the ban on Subway? Is Blaze a team that's been just really dominating on Subway? I haven't really taken much notice to their Subway game.
This season, we've seen a lot of Subway action come out. We've seen a lot of unique strategies come in on Subway, and I would assume G-Men maybe don't feel confident in their ability to counter some of the stuff that they have seen in this Season 9 so far. If anything, it's going to encourage those teams that have really honed in unique strategies on that map to keep practicing them. So it'll be interesting to see how this affects their future matches. But I think that's probably the reason. Maybe just also they're not quite comfortable with it. What I do think is interesting is our map 1 pick, which is going to be Suburbia.
Yeah, this should make for a good first map start off, right? We're going to light this fuse off very quickly, and hopefully it explodes relatively short time, because I have a feeling, and I kind of signed myself up in the co-cast slot hoping somebody would pick up the host, knowing the potential of this match. I mean, I was looking at the match page a little bit before we hopped in the lobby, and if I can get my cursor off the screen here to the right window, I can discuss that with you all.
Well,
yeah, so
I gotta cut you off because the round's starting, Sleepy. We're hopping right into the action. Yeah, we don't got, like I said, we gotta be quick with this because it's gonna be a hot one. Round 1 has begun. No time to break down the rosters or anything. Like, we can get your initial estimates. Who do you think is gonna take away this series?
I don't know. I'm sorry. G-Men have been playing super strong this season. They managed to pull a win against Globochem. They've had very strong showings against all the top teams they've come against so far. So I really kind of favor them. However, Blaze is that strong wild card that's always there, but yet always never seeming to be able to get that top slot. So Blaze always having something to prove and always having fun while doing it. G-Men, very serious, very methodical, and I've always said one of the highest IQ playing teams I think I've seen in the league, but we'll have to see. Their last few matchups over the past few seasons have gone both ways, G-Men and Blaze, so we'll really find out soon enough.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very tight matchup for sure, but I'm with you on the G-Men looking good this season.
Early checkmate going to be coming out there from Silent Night over the burning house into the playground. Nobody will be there for it to pick up any sort of effect, but it's nice to let the defense or the offense know that, hey, we're watching for you, buddy, and you can't just push up that easily. Over on the other side, you've got Brastamouth and 404 positioning themselves for their coordinated team strike. We do have a center objective here for this first objective that the teams will share. So it'll be a tough one, and as you can see, Blaze there has dedicated 4 out of their 5 squad mates into that house. They are not looking to give up this cap, and G-Men are a team that will find a way to sneak in there.
Yeah.
Shots ringing out a little bit there from Verds.
The pinch coming in, man, and Zach Fontaine on that shield duo, getting tons of information here. Doesn't look like Silent has any eyes over here, because he is very drawn to that 404 and Brass-to-Mouth push happening on the other side of the map. I'm wondering where Poopachu is going to try and enter in once this push begins, because he was a pretty key shooter for this G-Men team in their dubs, and Silent Knight does finally spot that shield rotation, drops back, and he's going to hold a different angle.
Oh, and Brass the Mouth is trying to bait out Batman to the window with some shots, but Batman being very disciplined here, almost having sightline on 404, but thankfully for 404, those bushes able to hold that back. Shot's going to be ringing off on the across the other side. I'm thinking mostly suppressive, maybe some return fire onto Silent Knight as he oppresses the man with his shield.
A bit of a hush before the push happens. 320, everybody's getting into position. Zach's peeking from that slide there, trying to get his angle up over the wood fence so he can check into carport, and he's cleared that, so that's opened up a little bit of reassurance from this G-Men squad that they can push through that sector. Zach Fontaine and Poopachu should be entering in from there, and yeah, they just have to worry about Silent, and then it's going to all come down to how they push this. Silent is going to be an element as he does find Zach.
Yeah, that's right. And still no movement on the side of Brass the Mouth and 404. Poopachu going to be quick to get the res onto Zach Fontaine. So Silent Knight's efforts not going to be for naught, but he will be one shot now. Brass the Mouth picking up a kill on the Silent Knight with the crossfire. That'll be exactly what they need to kill that cross-street threat. The grenade goes bad through the window. Brass the Mouth running away, successfully saving himself. But now Blaze are going to know they're knocking on the door.
It does
3 minutes left, such a small advantage, such a small map. That's a time advantage thing you can really work with.
I think that nade actually did damage Zero on the bottom floor, and Brass heard the audio, so he's a bit confused. He is checking that area now, looking for Zero somewhere on that bottom floor.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, though, due to those recent changes to the map where they added the interior decorations, really obstructed a lot of sightlines, but not for Brass the Mouth as he picks up birds. Now Brass the Mouth going to find Zero as well, and that's most of the Blaze team down. C4 is going to pop on the side of the Volk side. Cryocell going to find 404. Now the fight's inside on the stairs as things really heat up. The objective is under fire. Cryocell, the Blaze team popping a couple of Molotovs, making sure that the Marsoc offense cannot push up those stairs. That area of effect doing a lot of good for them right now.
Yeah, denying that hard push that I think G-Men were prepping there. The man doing a great job of drawing out some rounds. We do hear the...
Ooh, Brass the Mouth gonna find the sneak. He's gonna get in there. Is Batman gonna make it around the corner in time? He does find it in time to stop the cap, but can he stop the round? No, he will not. And G-Men will find the kill and find the round here on Suburbia.
Poopachu doing a nice job to find that round-winning kill through the window. Brass to Mouth, though, capitalizing off of the back-and-forth comms inside, ends up surprising with that push up the stairs. You know, I gotta think that's probably part of the G-Men strategy to just lull them into a bit of a sense of calm. You know, he thinks he's just looking at the shield guy, doesn't have to worry about much else, and suddenly he's getting sprinted up the stairs and he's dead.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, like, one of the highest IQ playing teams I've seen. Like, and Brass knew that guy that was exchanging those Italian pizza shop greetings with each other, with, you know, there on the stairs, was so focused on the man and his shield there that his sneak attack would go pretty much unnoticed. Even if he saw him, he wouldn't even really register it because he's so laser focused on the man's shield, right? That's his primary focus. Or yeah, he couldn't hear him. They're the gabagushin, gubadagushin, and you know, all of that stuff. So doubtful they're gonna find that he's gonna find those audio cues either. So great play there from G-Men. Brass to Mouth really finding that ninja surprise attack, and he went on a tear overall, finding 4 total in that round.
Yeah, doing some serious work there. We'll see if he can continue that kill streak as we hop into round number 2. With map number 1. If you are just tuning in, you're here at the right time. The action has just begun. We hopped pretty quickly into the action, so I think we can take a brief moment, take a gander at active rosters. Over on Blaze, we have Verd, Zero, Silent Knight, Cryocell, and Batman. And over on G-Men, we have the man, Zach Fontaine, Brass to Mouth, 404, and Poopachu. Free fire out the gate.
That's right. Blaze using the opportunity to lay down that early lane 3 pre-fire now. G-Men going to answer back, but nobody on either team really affected by either. G-Men very quick to counter it. I think I even possibly heard some boos coming out from their side when they heard the pre-fire starting, but that could be me. I could be just hearing things, so don't take my word for that. Blaze, though, keeping up the pressure here on the lane one side as they keep pressure. Verds, Cryocell, and Silent Knight moving their way up while continuously firing, making sure that that noise cover is there, as well as just keeping the heads down of G-Men so they can't really get an accurate fix on where they're located. C4 going to pop off now on the mid side of the map. No connections going to be made. Shots do ring out, though. Grass going to position himself in the corner. He's going to find himself hurt in a second as the shots ring out from across the fountain. Nobody able to connect there, but Verds will manage to find a tight angle and get the kill there in the center.
Boy, he dead. He ain't coming back no more.
Is confident in his kill, and it took quite a few plays to take him down over in that corner. A nice nade up into the window. Pupachu able to duck out and avoid getting killed there just in time.
Yeah, you got that right, Chuck. That was a well-practiced grenade, you could tell from the window toss, but Blaze is inside. Silent Knight actually downstairs, taking fire, taking shots at Zach Fontaine to keep the pressure up. Zach Fontaine now, though, going to find Batman from across the way. Blaze is in a good position, though. They can strike here. They still got 4 minutes on the clock, a lot of recovery time. It's 4v4. No one's really got the sane advantage here. Ooh, but the man will find Silent Knight with his kill. That dirty little silenced AS Val.
Yeah, it's a pretty big pickup, because if that goes the opposite way and they lose one in that you know, objective room, they only have 2 there to defend. If Verd snags a quick double on these stairs, G-Men are forced into some pretty aggressive rotations to get here out objective, and Cryocell has a decent overwatch angle. It's going to be really hard for G-Men to rotate and cover this, so it is going to come down to how Verds approaches the stairwell.
Oh man, and he's being risky. He does find the man though as he takes the corner. Pupachu's gonna look outside at the wrong time. Verds is upstairs completely unopposed. Blaze is gonna get the cap here. 404 on the rotation. He's not gonna be fast enough. Zach Fontaine not able to call it out. 404 is not on the rotation. Oh, but Blaze get the kill and they don't get the cap. It goes tied 1-1 at the end of round 2.
An easy cap there. Verds maybe taking a bit too long. Also not letting his team know that he had control of top floor in that central building. It's hard to tell when you have firefights like that and both rifles are exchanging fire just who the winner is, unless you're really paying attention. And clearly, in the chaos, they weren't aware Verds had managed to win that trade because, geez, he was close. And you know, you saw Cryo trying to rotate into the house. I think that was the assumption that that Verds hadn't won that trade there, and that they were going to invest now Cryo inside the 2-story.
Yeah, that's a good possibility. A lot of things were happening at the same time, and I mean that's the reason why Pupachu got taken down. He was just watching the stairs where Verds was. Heck, we thought they were looking at each other for just a moment, but in fact, no, he didn't see it. He turns to see the fire that comes out from I forget exactly who it was that was in that position, but his attention is drawn away. Verds pops up the stairs at that exact moment. He's able to take down Pupachu, but again, as you said, a little bit too slow in that cap, and things just fall apart. But they do manage to secure that ever-important Marsoc point and tie the game back up, so not doing too bad at all.
No, definitely a very good answer back, and a very impressive double there from Verds. Huge clutch moves as he got control of center house. We'll see what G-Men can do. Have the man with the shield per usual, so we're going to see the Zach Fontaine duo here, and bit of a switch up. We move into the north objective.
That's right, northeast white car objective. You can see Zero there positioning himself up. The man going to be trying to do some spotting. A mid grenade there going to come out, according to our timer. That is good. 404 will find an early pick though on the Silent Knight. What a great first kill.
He was just sitting on the slide there, holding an angle, and he managed to get that on the drop. Nice job, 404. The man finds Zero with a nice nade.
Couldn't get the camera over there in time, but I watched the arc from afar, and I was like, "Is that gonna get him?" And sure enough, it does. G-Men on the front foot here, really early on in round number 3, NightFiree.
A good way to kick off your Marsoc round. Nice nade kill on a key clutch defensive position on the route you're going to take. And now you look at Blaze's defense, and it's super, super weak on objective.
Yeah, but they really don't have much option, right? Like the rotations to get into appropriate positions to defend this objective, other than Batman, who still has plenty of opportunity to defend before becoming too much of a risk. However, knowing G-Men, there will be a wall of smoke if they choose to push this route for the final approach, and he probably won't be able to see anything. But everyone else is kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. They don't have many places to realistically go that will keep them from, out of harm's way.
A lot of utility utilized on G-Men's side, so I'm curious how many smokes they have left as a team. Because that's going to be a key element if they do want to get over into capping territory, although they could utilize the man and his shield to cross that street, but it's not exactly a risk-free option.
Right. And now some early suppression fire.
Yeah, they're not sure if there's one behind Humvee. Looks like they're taking shots at tires. They think there's one that was over there and back. It's kind of just safety shots, I suppose, maybe.
Could be. Interested to see how Poopachu's positioning in lane 4 is going to turn out, because he's got a flank actually and a slight angle on Cryocell, but I don't know if he's seen it yet, and I don't know if vice versa if Cryo's seen it as well. But Cryo's going to have the problem of having to fight 2 people at once if they time it right.
404 is just lasered on Cryo right now.
Yeah,
Cryo even peeks at all, he's in trouble, yeah.
He's got no good options here. And this speaks to the level of preparation and knowledge that the G-Men have and take with them to these matchups. Like, they don't just come in willy-nilly. They like to know where you like to play. They like to know your rotations. If there's footage of you, they're going to watch it. They're going to prep. They have playbooks for you. The pushes on, it seems, from lane 1 as the smokes dot out. Batman trying to find some fun over there through the smoke, but nothing going to work so far. 404 going to find Cryocell on the other side. He'll find Birds too. Poopachu will find Batman, and G-Man with a quick sweep there at the end with the strike. They take a 2-1 lead here on Suburbia.
That is coordination in a nutshell right there. Very well
really
timed. As soon as they had one close to objective, everybody stood up and started taking their shots. And Blaze tried to get out and defend, and as soon as they went to rotate, all of their defensive positions were essentially covered. A nice double getting scooped up there from the man. Actually, I think it was 404. But
yeah, no, 404 picked up that double there at the end there.
That was a very solid offensive push from G-Men. I expect a back and forth, honestly, in this series, though, especially with how the history is a feature. And you do look at these teams, it is very much similar rosters to what we've seen in past seasons with these two teams matching up against each other. So,
yeah,
there are some changes, obviously, but, if we want to look at the past matchups, I do think they are a good predictor of what we can expect here today. So I am expecting back and forth. Really interested to see what Blaze's attack looks like on this northwest objective.
Yeah, and these two northern objectives, NightFiree, we gotta remind some folks that they're not the most easy objectives to defend or attack. Realistically, they're pretty open, right? Like, you have to utilize some utility to really get out there, or manage to just get out there right between glances of your defending enemy. But otherwise, and no fault of Blaze in that last round, they just got caught off guard early. The G-Men had the advantage, and they utilized it. They had really no place to go. But I'm seeing a level of G-Men that I can only compare to, the top echelon of Globochem days. They are really starting to click on that sort of a level, and it's really impressive to me.
Yeah, it does make me wonder what sort of evolution SMC has undergone since the start of their season, where they've had a few rough goes at the beginning, because they did beat G-Men 12-6, I think.
Yes, they did. I think that is G-Men's only loss of the season, in fact.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting there. Of course, one of the ones we don't have coverage on, but will happen. We like to build the mystery.
Yeah, though I gotta say that even though I haven't been on as many casts lately, I have been very impressed with the amount of work that even our newest casters to the casting group have been contributing. I mean, they've really just been nailing it lately. So big thanks to them, and big thanks to everyone who's been tuning in. A lot of new followers coming through, so we appreciate that. Any of those subscribes, of course, much appreciated. And Zero gonna be the first one to put out some shots here. No victim to find. Verd's gonna put out some as well. He's gonna now be taking fire from Pupachu.
Cool reminder that those wood walls are fully penetrable as Pupachu finds out, or sorry, oh no, he silent confirmed him. I think that was Cryo there that found out.
Yeah.
Nade comes up and over. Ooh, almost catches Silent's head. Lucky he didn't roll off the roof there.
It's crazy days, and Blaze have put themselves at a disadvantage, all because of circumstance. A little pre-fire, a little grenade, and a lot of missed opportunity. Brastamouth gonna blow some C4, and there's the firefight rages on. The man will find Zero, on lane 4. Brastamouth gonna make it out alive as he looked down the barrel of 2 rifles at one point there.
Yeah.
Now Verd's and Silent moving around, rotating. They could get caught out here by Brastamouth, but no, Verd's gonna find the kill through the fence. And that'll be the look up that Blaze needs. It's starting to balance out in their favor, but it's gonna be a tough go as they go for the approach on this objective. I think at this point, their best bet would be to try and combine utility and just go for that focused attack on the objective, because the other 2 defenders are quite far off. So if you can manage to pick and get rid of those guys on the objective, you can use that 3-man squad to just kind of do some damage and get in there.
Silent Knight has the option here. Up the man. The man peeks out just in time, catches Silent on his big open rotation. One more for G-Men, and it is going to come down to Verds.
Here he comes. Zach Fontaine not looking. He's watching for the cross out to Humvee. But that could be where Verds takes advantage. It depends, but he's going risky. He's going out for the... No, he is going behind the bush. Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought he was just going out in front of those sandbags. I'm like, you're not that brave, are you?
Debating. He's debating what he wants to do here. I think he is probably going to approach up through this the central area. As risky as it usually is, the coverage is definitely not there for G-Men. He doesn't know that, though, so you see the uncertainty in that approach, and he's been debating if he wants to drop back, he wants to go left. He can't really figure out which way he wants to take it here. But he's making a choice now.
He's debating, debating is what he's doing. Ooh, he got a nice lay on those smokes, each going one each direction. It's going to force Zach into one singular lane to peek through, and that might give Verz the angle he needs to be able to take Zach out, actually. It's more of a luck of the draw thing, but they were spaced a little closer. He might have gotten some overlap and actually had a nice little wall going. He could have made it across somewhere. Ooh, but he's not going to make it across today. Zach Fontaine going to see the cross out and pick up Verds.
All comes down to Batman, the lone survivor. He's going to try tossing some nades out here and making his push out. Pupachu doesn't let any of that happen and picks him off. And G-Men take their 3rd round of map 1.
Yeah, and again, another great round on the side of G-Men. Well, defense, you know, again, Blaze kind of falling the victim of circumstance a little bit with Silent Knight kind of confirming Cryo after the grenade went off from Pupachu, and stacked on top of that, Zero's taken out by the man just after. You know, so things not really not really going the way of Blaze in this map, but I guess that could be to expected, NightFiree, considering they are the away team here, so this map would be to the pick of the G-Men.
I am a little bit surprised to see G-Men working so well in these tight quarters. You know, they are a team that is, I suppose, pretty skilled on cargo. But, you know, Suburbia is not a map that I feel like I've seen G-Men pick into, you know, in past seasons. If anything, from my past experience on that G-Men team, it's been a map that's historically been avoided by them. So to see it picked here and to see them play it so well, it's just shows you that these teams are evolving and improving, you know, bit by bit. G-Men obviously getting better on Suburbia.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that's probably due to some of that roster shakeup, right? I mean, things have changed quite a bit since the 2 seasons ago. You've been in the league with the G-Men now, right? officially on the roster, or am I overselling
That
it?
was courtesy on the roster for probably an additional 1 or 2 seasons.
his pity roster for a while, folks. It's fine. He lended his talents to the VRML in other ways, so we got to thank NightFiree for that instead. But yeah, it's a lot of shakeup going on there. So I think with that shakeup has come along a little bit of different change in strategy for G-Men, right? Because it seems that they've got some players now who can handle that CQB combat and really take things close and personal. And of course, having that duo to pair with the man and his shield is always threatening, whether it be Cargo or whether it be Suburbia, because they're very lane-focused maps.
Diving into round number 5, gonna see how Blaze handles this defense on Burning Building. Not exactly the easiest to defend, but G-Men don't get the quick spawn either, so it's gonna be just a bit before they're able to rotate all the way around to this side, although the man is already over here at School Bus.
Yeah, I can't say that even if the G-Men got the quick spawn, they would necessarily be going for a quick cap. But that's the thing about this new breed of G-Men that we've been seeing evolve over the last season or so, right? Like, they've been changing kind of everything that we used to think about them. They used to be like a very slow-only team, and then now they're changing things up. They've got slow, they've got fast, they've got a mix of both. They've really gotten their plays and their cohesiveness and their strategy locked down. And Blaze has that too, but I think Blaze is also a group of silly guys who sometimes likes to let fun be a little bit more fun than getting the win, which is fine, you know, play your own game, live your life, you know, but here G-Men really so far making them pay for it with a 2-point advantage on map 1.
See with things on the line if the Blaze team can bounce back.
Yep, and map 2, their map choice, right?
Right.
No.
Still not out of this one, is what I'm saying.
That's true, even that.
They're, can't count them out quite yet. They're looking good on a couple of the rounds here, but 404 does find an early kill on a Verge through the shrubs.
Batman's looking to find it, but he just... Oh, he does manage to find it, in fact. Just that little bit of movement from 404 was enough to give Batman the pixels through the bushes he needs to change color and just find his target. And that even stings right back out for Blaze.
Pretty important pickup there to have that early disadvantage. Just rough. Zach Fontaine switching the numbers back into G-Men's favor, and Nate comes in.
Oh, that bounce off the shield was crazy.
That was huge. Saved Zach's life, most likely.
Ooh, nice play there from Zero to tuck in onto the porch. Things are getting heated here on the objective. Smokes are out. Poopachu's going to find Silent Night across the streak. Batman will find Brass to Mouth as well. Here comes Poopachu to peek the porch. He finds it. Batman finds Poopachu on the refrag. Here comes Batman to try and cover the objective. Zach Fontaine and the man have backed off. The man might find Batman here on the rotation around. Here it comes. He's looking for the knife. He finds the knife, and G-Men get the elimination. What happened on the porch? Oh wait, no, that's it. Yeah, G-Men take the map win 4-1 on Suburbia.
You got bewildered by the knife finale there out of the man, but yeah, that was their timing's interesting. You know, it's been pretty long in some of the previous maps. You know, they've really cut it down to that minute wire, but here you could see on Suburbia they're pushing it about 3:30 or 4, and it's very coordinated. You know, they're very well aware of when they should move and when they should move as a team. As soon as those nades come out, as soon as those smokes come in, it's chaos from all directions, and it's hard to cover all of that action happening across the board there because kills were just ringing out left and right as they were pushing objective.
Yeah, they sure were, and that's been the case for a lot of those G-Men rounds, right? Yeah. Like at the end, once they gang up and they get in position and all things start breaking loose, so much stuff is going on. Not only is it hard for us to follow, casting and controlling the cameras, but it's a lot for the players on the field to follow as well. Keeping track of what type of gunfire it is, where it is, and how recently you heard it, and not having that time to pull out your tablet and see, okay, who survived that firefight. Like, those are things that matter, and in those key moments near the objective, those things matter even more. But G-Men really just not giving their opponents that time to know that information.
Looking like we're getting no roster swaps, and we are going to be moving into Bazaar for map number 2. an interesting choice coming off of a hard Suburbia loss to then go into another tight quarters map. You'd think maybe a Downfall or Quarantine would be an option, but that's also a strength of G-Men. So I don't know. You know, it's a they're a team that's looking very good. They're a hard. I really want to know what SMC busted out against in that series. They have to keep an eye on SMC now because maybe they're kind of rebounding and kicking things off for themselves into Season 9. But that's for a later discussion as we hop into map number 2, round 1, Blaze versus G-Men.
Yeah, NightFiree, I mean, you said pretty much everything I would have said, so
I'm here for.
Here we go. Getting into this round, Blaze do get the quick spawn, so I'd expect to see some quick aggression on their part. They do like to get into things real quick if they can. They don't mind getting their clothes dirty when they're working. Here we go. Shots already rigging off. Verd's going to pick up the man. That'll be crucial. 404 going to get grabbed. Going to grab Cryocell, but Silent will be there immediately for the refrag. Blaze so far looking good here on Bazaar in this first round.
Could have gone a touch better if Blaze had been able to keep one alive, but ultimately a fantastic start for them to pick these two off on this corner. It's opened up their offensive options so much, and Verge is getting super aggressive here with this quick spawn, pushing right inside.
Got the noise pollution. Oh. Wow, and a nice play from Brass. Even with all that noise pollution that Birds have created with those smokes, now Poopachu's firing off towards that north alleyway, but nobody's there. Zero's going to come through the smoke now, and he's got cover. He could get the cap here. If he's able to pick up the pace here on this cap, this could be over. Poopachu rotating in. Will he get in time? No, Blaze going to get the cap and get the first round. Wow, 2-0 lead here on map number 2 as Blaze comes back from a 4-1 loss in map 1. Amazing stuff here on the first round.
That was a mega quick cap. That was in like, that's about as fast as you can punch that in. He had the code memorized right before he entered in there. He didn't have to check. That's him not checking code too. That's for sure. Oh, yeah. That's a memorized code going right in there, capping in, I would say 4 to 5 seconds. Just an absolute excellent job.
Yeah, I mean, that's an example of your top players knowing their personal preferred spot to learn and memorize that code before going in for a cap to make sure that that cap time is as small as possible. He was exposed for as little amount of time as he needed to be. He may have even made a mistake there. We wouldn't have known. But either way, he manages to get it done and get 2 points up. And it looks like a little bit of an issue there on one of the sides as we do have a round reset trigger. But, you know, it gives us a little bit of a chance to kind of break that down, right? I mean, we saw what looked like a good push early on from Verds. He had like 3 smokes, I think he ended up chucking in there. So Brass's hearing had to be going all sorts of crazy. He couldn't know where that was coming from, but he happened to come around at the right angle. And Verds, for some reason, went around that corner without his weapon up. I don't know. That confused me, but that could be a spectator bug too, that I just didn't see the right thing. So I don't know, that whole kind of unfolding, everything really just worked out for Blaze there, and they're kind of getting the luck that G-Men had on Suburbia, it looks like.
Yeah, they really capitalized on the chaos, and as Verds went down, saw that fire coming in from Poopachu on the Overwatch, but then Brass calls for that to stop, because he's in that smoke getting shot at. So Poop stops, and he stops aiming at that side. Brass dies, and that opens up that small window. So just these... as we saw I think in the cast this afternoon, it's the brief moments that you're not holding the angle that always end up biting you in the butt. And the moment Poopachu drops off that, an enemy slips in and is sitting behind a pillar punching in the code.
Yeah, I mean, that translates to my life in regular 2D esports gaming, right? Like, every time I look away, I get shot in the back, right? Never when I'm looking where they just came from. Always when I turn away. But either way, man, Blaze living up to their name and blazing up the streets of Bazaar here tonight. Yeah. And now it looks like we are ready to finally get into round 2 here, but G-Men got a lot of work to do. Let's hope they get the quick spawn. Nope. Still not going to have what we take to get her going on the second round.
That's all right. We'll get there eventually. Yeah, it's the best possible scenario for Blaze. Their answer back to a 4-1 loss on map 1 is to come in and get a cap on their map choice. It instantly reignites the fear into G-Men, but it also reignites the fear into G-Men. So I'm curious to see if G-Men will come in here to this round 2 with some intensity.
Yeah, I think we could safely expect that. Like I said, G-Men have changed things up too, and they've recently showed us that they don't always play slow and super methodical and set everything up, you know, super tight around the objective first. Sometimes they like to strike really fast and sneak in through paths that you wouldn't expect and get a quick cap in there, just like the other guys. So hard to tell what they're going to do, but it does look like they are going to take a bit of a more methodical and thought out approach here to this objective, as they've pretty well spread the northern half of the map with one somewhat covering their southern flank.
Yeah, they're definitely going to apply the pressure on objective side, obviously. Not investing one into a long rotation east, which is interesting considering how powerful that east courtyard can be. You have great lines of sight right into objective. I guess if you ignore it, you also ignore the defenders that you're sort of forced to invest over there.
Northeast courtyard.
Yeah, G-Men seem to be still trying to figure out positions. They're just communicating with each other, trying to pinpoint enemy locations as they approach here on the north. That's the man, Brass to Mouth, and 404 here. Some of the now long-term members of G-Men. Brass to Mouth kind of finally getting that veteran status. He's been on the team for quite a while now.
Yep.
But he's still relatively new in the sense of the overall G-Man lifespan.
Yeah, right. And the span of the league.
Yeah, which essentially are the same length.
That's true.
I mean, Dakin Man himself, the king, the man, the legend, was in fact a registered member of the G-Men. And oh, some shots going to ring out towards the man from Silent Night from that north alley. He's just putting pressure on. He rotates away almost immediately after taking those shots. He's not trying to give away anything he doesn't have to.
Wow, Verds with a fantastic nade out the window.
And that's the shield too. That's going to really help with 404 with an impressive long shot down the street to hit Batman. I don't even know how he saw that.
I'm gonna go get man.
But now Silent Down is Night as well.
Yeah.
That's right, people.
Really nice double there from 404. He's going to rotate around, try and pick up the man, but he's got to be careful of Verds. And there are rotations coming in to pick up Blaze. Pretty costly investment, honestly. Something that G-Man could have capitalized off of. Lots of fire now on this north side.
Nice pickup there as Zero takes down 404 with a nice headshot to return the favor. And Batman gets to return the favor with the confirmation onto the man, even though 4 grenades will come out for the kill. She will find Cryo Cell on a double peek. Silent Night is, well, he's going to be left laying here on the north alley for now. Literally asking if anyone is going to come revive him now. But Blaze maintaining the advantage currently with a 3.5 man up versus G-Man's 3. And as I say that, Batman grabs the res onto Silent Night in the north alley.
Upachu and Brass are sort of stuck here. They don't know it yet, but Verds has a great angle on him.
Yeah, well, they might pick up on it soon. Verd's communication levels are pretty loud. I mean, what can you do, right? You got to get the information out there. I'd rather them know where I am than me not give information to my team. But his position may be compromised now, so he might not get those easy picks like he would have just moments ago. With only 2 minutes left, Brass to Mouth gonna get a little greedy, a little hungry, I should say, as he grabs a kill on Poopachu.
Yeah, that's a huge pickup. Zach killing Verds opens up this entire G-Men offense to enter in that front door.
This is not looking good. Blaze now going to have to be on the back fence. back foot, but it is a 2v2 scenario. So unless G-Men are smart enough to go and loot their dead comrades for some additional utility, this could be okay. But the grenade from Pupichu, it does pick up Batman. Now the objective's free and clear. Zero's too far off. This could be bad. Here they go. The rotation's out. Zero's out. He finds Rastam Mouth. Will he be able to find Pupichu? Pupichu's pushed out. He does be able to find him in place. Take the lead. 3-0. They're coming back on map number 2. Oh my goodness, NightFiree. That is not how I saw that round ending with the positioning of players.
A huge
when
risk
G-Men broke through.
taken by G-Men there. Something it takes I don't know, with 2 alive to lose your partner and then continue on for the cap. It's certainly an aggressive move. Doesn't quite pay off for the G-Men. Offense and Blaze, I mean, what a huge pickup on the back end, snagging that double and denying the option of the cap.
Wow, and a great way to solidify that cap that
Yeah.
they just took. I mean, because G-Men were looking to get one for themselves
they
there,
were.
and they had an opportunity for a moment. I think honestly, if Pupichu might have not focused on going for brass to mouth and had tucked in behind that column for the cap, or even gotten to the little tucked in corner there, would have made the rotation for brass just long enough while he was or not for brass, but for Zero, I believe that was, to have to push out just a little bit further, and I think he might have had time to get that number because Pupichu's a pretty fast capper too. So I mean, there are a lot of opportunities, but either way, oh my.
No, Blaze
Oh Nelly.
could just get rid of everyone else. Zero is 5-1 with a cap. He is absolutely dominating this round, this series right now, and
He needs to change his name to Zero Carries Given.
if he
Bop, bop.
gives off any carries here for round number 3. Blaze 1 round away from grabbing map 2 and taking this to a best of 3.
Yeah, and you know we both want to see that NightFiree, so I'm really kind of praying for Blaze to just go ahead and knock it out, send us into the 3rd one. But a 4-1 tie here into the series leading into the map would be better, because then it's tied all the way up, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I keep things nice and even across the board.
Right? Like that's when it gets the juiciest, when it comes down to the wire on who gets the points, who gets the maps, who ends up getting the series, right? Like it can come down to minuscule things. Zero goes down, but almost immediately gets revived. The man gonna blind first, so instead, now the trades come out. Brass finds Zero, Cryo finds Brass. Cryo's now made his way up and inside. He's underneath. He's got no objection to the objective. Silence now up there. This is gonna be another cap for Blaze. They're gonna go 5-0 on the first map, on the second map. Cryo's capping, Silence covering. This looks good for them. Blaze gonna be able to get it. Cryo not able to get the code in, though. This is taking quite a while now. I'm running out of breath. Is Cryo ever gonna get it? And there it is. Blaze gonna get the 5-0 on map 2.
Wow, they do not want that scoreline even. They want the lead. And they have taken it 5-0 on map 2.
They want the juice.
Yeah, they've got a 2-point lead now.
Wow, an impressive map 2. Bizarre, looking good for Blaze there, just completely turning the dumpster over on G-Men after that first map. And you know, even though the score was 4-1 in that first map, you know, let's be honest, that first map wasn't that far spread in the actual rounds played, you know. But
that was a bit of a different looking Blaze for map number 2, though. You know, that was.
I think the preheating is over, NightFiree, and Blaze are ready to put it in the oven, if you know what I'm saying. Wow.
No surprise, though, we do get off of the close quarters action and move to a map that is historically a G-Men favorite. Downfall for map 3.
Yeah, NightFiree, and there's really no surprise here, right, for anyone watching at home, I think, who knows the map choice going back to G-Men. The map series is tied up 1-1. Blaze technically in the lead with points, so they're going to have to go with their strongest map, and they do particularly well on Downfall. Blaze, though, is no slouch on Downfall, so this could be a reckless decision. We'll just have to see how things turn out, though, as the round turns on.
Yeah, they're not giving us any time between maps either. We're going to hop right in the map number 3, round 1. These teams itching to get into the action. And you know what? It's been a really quick series. So
Yeah, it honestly has.
I can't complain about slowing it down a little bit just for us at the desk to take a bit of a breather as we go to Downfall round 1.
I want some water too, guys. Give me some water. And the G-Men gonna come, or I'm sorry, the Blaze boys gonna come out hot from the valley. They better be careful. G-Men are very aware of, excuse me, of these long angles from their spawn as well. So they got to be careful. They got 2 men on the objective building. A smart play, but G-Men gonna be looking for those long picks from way out before they even get close to let you shoot at them.
Missed shots are the #1 killer, especially at high-level games like this, and Cryo had a ton of missed opportunities.
Silent Knight missing his shots from the north bungalow there. 404 was well out in the open. He missed a volley of shots, and 404 manages to get away and identify his position. That's not going to be good because that means Silent Knight's basically stuck in that building, because the longer he waits to move, the more G-Men are going to get pushed up and be able to watch the flank and watch his exit for the push.
They have all their tank. They've given up a lot of ground.
Has anybody seen my anxiety medication? Because this match is yowza. Loving it. Great matchup here so far. Check shots. Looks like Silent Knight's going for some shots onto the window of the man's building. And he's also seen 404, but now some pock shot return fire is going to be coming in from Brass to Mouth, as Brass helps to support the eastern push. Zach Fontaine going to be leading that on point, well out there in the divot.
Silence aggression, pretty uncharacteristic, honestly, at this level, and be able to get up there is impressive in itself. The suppression from the hilltop there, keeping the 2 busy on the east, and Silence basically denying G-Men from pushing up through the center, and he's trying to find himself a pick.
Man, I gotta tell you, Knight, I found this really cool angle where Cryo was firing on Zach and his tracers were coming by the camera, man. It was really sweet. But yeah, that push is about the most action we've seen thus far. But, you know, a lot of us aren't really surprised, right? It's Downfall. It takes a minute. The man does manage to find Silent Knight inside that north bungalow. However, confirmations will be pretty much impossible until you actually enter the building for yourself.
Yeah, he'll be able to get some good visual information radioed into his team pretty consistently until he's confirmed there, because I don't think any reses are coming. Birds is not going to cross that threshold, and
no, I doubt he gets rezzed. If he does, it's a miracle, and if whoever it is makes it, that's also a miracle.
wonder if Birds is going to go for it.
It's a miracle dev, huh? Huh? Say that because miracle's in the chat.
Is he at Butcher Shop yet?
And there we go. Cryo going to be the first to find the return on Blaze side, and Verds will follow it up almost immediately with shots and a kill onto 404. Blaze still holding the advantage. Poopachu, though, going to quickly turn that advantage back around as he picks up a refrag onto Verds. NightFiree, this is unfair. They keep shooting and killing each other on opposite sides of the map, man.
It is the good back and forth on Downfall.
I made it to Center Hotel.
Track what exactly G-Men is going to do with their available options. Poopachu in the 2-story, trying to get an angle down towards objective defense, which is the right idea. It is going to be increasingly hard to defend with only 3 alive for Blaze. This objective is not necessarily an easy one. If Cryo goes down here, they lose Overwatch too.
So at this point, it's really that G-men are going to be trying to adapt to the situations that have surmounted, right? Like that's kind of what they do. They've learned to time their rounds out to where they're leaving enough time to do this sort of adaptation. And this is something we used to harp on a lot of teams about for the longest time, right? NightFiree, about not leaving yourself that adaptability time at the end when you need it most, when things are going down and things are chaotic and you can't keep things from happening or not going your way. So they're playing it well, and they still have a minute left, but they do have a ways to go, and Blaze does have the objective pretty well locked down. And that's the other thing I guess I kind of forgot here, NightFiree, is that Blaze has been given a very key role in that they can possibly ride a Volk advantage to the victory here. And Batman finds one, as I say that.
A lot of fire onto him. Brass to mouth. Doing something here with the smoke, trying to walk his way in and waving it across, really trying to get some maximum coverage. Does get to the corner, has to deal with Batman. Pat out. Batman's going to rotate around the corner. He finds Brass. Suppressive fire from Pupichu, not able to dissuade him.
Yeah, and all this takes is a grenade at the corner of that building. It should get close enough to kill Pupichu, but he's going to run out into the open. He's got 10 seconds left. It doesn't matter. Cryocell's going to find the kill. And Blaze find the first round here on map number 3. They take the lead.
Blaze are looking to grab a series against the G-Men squad that I would argue has looked the best that they have this season, which is really
in a couple of seasons.
Yeah, really quite impressive. You know, they are have this lead right now. It's Blaze moving up in those rankings, really, in my mind, and I'm curious to see their matches been like throughout the rest of this season. And we're at the old VR Master League website, which I do recommend you bookmark. Head on over to vrmasterleague.com/onward and see when all the matches are going to go live. You'll see all the Twitch links, all the links to the socials. You can get involved in the Discord community, the Reddit community, the Twitter community. There's all sorts of groups. And it shows when we're live. So right now you'll see we have games on 1 and 2. Another high-tier matchup. Globochem versus... Who are they facing?
It was Ember versus Globochem on the other channel. Which I would love to see an update if anyone in the chat has an update on that score. And as like map score and who won if it's over. Because yeah, we're watching this game. But knowing about that would be nice.
We are indeed watching this game. Round 2 underway. G-Men on the defense, and they got to fend off a Blaze that's riding some intense momentum. 6 unanswered points.
Yeah, and the Blaze team really does ride that momentum. If you let them start feeling good, and that's not going to feel good, the man picking up Cryocell on a long angle from the hillside. But as I was saying, if you do let Blaze get that momentum and let them feel good about what they've been doing, man, they will make you pay for it, because they will use that energy, and I mean, it's like fuel to their fire. It really is, and all puns are intended there, because they can really pull out some incredible stuff, as we saw on the last map.
They are at a disadvantage. There's a lot of fire going on. They're trying to even those odds, but the man was able to get that early pick and dropped off of that defensive angle, which is going to go into Blaze's favor, because they do have 2 over there on the east.
I think the problem that Blaze faces in that situation is that they are a lot more exposed in their return fire than the fire that they receive originally. So for them to land those shots back is going to be exponentially more difficult. One, because the enemy already kind of knows where you are, and you haven't quite pinpoint them. And even if you have, you're either going to have to re-peek or find a position that could put you in an exposed position and transitioning to that could get you killed. So a lot of factors go into these players' minds. So you know, those are things we have to keep in our minds, especially NightFiree and I as former players, now casters. When we see things happen, we're like, why in the world would someone do this? It's like, well, there's about 14,000 things going on in that player's head at the moment, so that's why.
Firefight exchanges going on the east and the west. Zach Fontaine's got himself a bit of an inconvenience. Fine 0, though, a real nice angle. Somehow able to find it under that suppressive fire, and very brave to be peeking that window as a hellfire of bullets rain down on you.
Smokes out now towards the Volk Tower from from Verz, sorry. That will draw the attention, of course, of the defenders, but should provide him enough cover to possibly get into a decent position. But no, he's going to be taking fire from. Not even quite sure. Is that from the white building, maybe up on the hill?
From Zach in the window, yeah. He's had a pretty good line of sight here for most of this round, and he's really been denying the push from Blaze. We also have an interesting bit of movement from Silent Knight and Batman on the east.
Yeah, but will it be enough to save Blaze's first Marsoc push here on the map? So far, things not going their way. G-Men have been able to establish pretty good dominance on their defense. But it could be like that for the rest of this round, and that's could be how Blaze ends up actually clenching it if it comes down to it.
Defensive setup is interesting. They are really off objective. Not anyone is close.
Yeah, but the thing is, they don't have to be if you really look at it, because they're covering all those approach angles. It'll be really tough to sneak by them unless you use something really unorthodox and something that somebody really hasn't thought of. But Silent Knight will find a nice pick with a headshot onto the man. That'll help as Blaze try and find their footing here on their attack run.
You're going to say he's got to be ready for 404 on that corner. He was, but there is the trade, and G-Men barely hang on to their lead, 3-2. I think the res is available on silent, so I wonder if Batman's going to drop back and try and pick that up.
It would be wise of Blaze. Every man they could have in this fight would be to their benefit. However, looking at those positions, I don't know. And yeah, here comes the rotation, and it seems to finish off Silent Knight. Maybe Pupichu, he's just going to use the hill to look for the rotation. And he's basically covered the only approach Batman would have had to actually go up and res Silent Knight without putting himself in danger to anyone else. So G-Men, as per usual, adapting to the situation and closing off the availability. Now it's just going to be up to Verds, basically, who has the best approach and the most likely approach to succeed here. Coming in from that western street, but he's got to be able to take down Brass to Mouth first, and that's going to alert Zach Fontaine up on the hill, which could make things messy.
He has a path to victory. There's a lone one, though, as Pupichu finds Batman. Silent's not going to get that res, and it is going to come down to Verds and his approach from the west.
Not sure if Verds is aware of Brass's position, but he is sneaking up, being very quiet. So I don't know if he's just being cautious because of this building in general, or if maybe he saw or was given a call out that somebody was in this building. But either way, it's going to be hard for Verds here. He's got a lot of crossing to do through some very open angles with some very good defenders. And with that being said, Zach Fontaine going to find his shots onto Verds. And G-Men will find their defensive round here on map 3 and tie things up 1-1.
Back to keeping things even on the scoreboard. Been a bit of a uncharacteristic, or maybe unexpected, not uncharacteristic, but unexpected, severe back and forth. 4-1 for Suburbia for G-Men, 5-0 for Blaze on Bazaar. Now we're all tied up 1-1 on Downfall, and I'm sort of just waiting for one of these teams to run away with it.
Yeah. I don't know.
We've been surprised on most of these maps, you know.
I mean,
so I'm
Blaze's actions on Bazaar was really out there getting 2 caps in that one map, really, without giving up any points. That was impressive. G-Men's play through Suburbia was impressive considering their history on the map previously, which I think we figured out was a lot in part due to probably the change up in their lineup and who was on the team. But yeah, I mean, Downfall, again, I think G-Men probably have the edge, but Blaze have pulled out some pretty miraculous plays on this map to get some crazy caps. So
Yeah.
It really could. You're right. I mean, somebody could definitely walk away with it right here, but
Yeah.
I really feel like we're going to be locked into a stalemate till the very last round here.
We'll find out right now. Hop into round number 3 of map 3, the series decider. If you are just dropping by, you have picked a dang good time.
Yeah, it looks like we're seeing the folks from the other game pile in.
Well, they've picked a dang good time.
They picked a dang good time, NightFiree. You are right, a dang old good time, in fact. As we get into round 3, which NightFiree just said, and he'll yell at me about later. Early pre-fire coming in though from G-Man. They're really laying down the hammer on those exposed spawns from Blaze. No connections made. Blaze able to make it to buildings or at least some hard cover for the time being. But were they able to get to the spots that they needed to? That'll ultimately be the question.
One I'm at northwest 2-story. Dark room.
Going to be a bit of a waiting game here. Going to have to allow G-Men to rotate all the way around that south side through that ravine and also send to way up north south, although Verds is going to find 404 trying to, I'm not sure do what over there as he peeked.
If he's able to get that confirmation, that'll be some crazy pixel identification because 404 is not very exposed. Okay, he's not exposed at all. If Verds gets that confirmation, there's a bug.
G-Men are down 1, but they are also a bit undetected so far. You see lasers coming from way far away up on the hill, down into some defensive positions of Blaze. Are they using 12 times? I'm curious. I don't think that they are. So I don't know really what they can see through those windows from here.
Yeah, what's more concerning, I guess, for me is looking at the enlarged overhead map is a lot of the Blaze defense is looking just that way.
Right.
Those members down towards the south there and towards the, down towards the south, they're just kind of slinking around like, okay, don't look this way, it's fine. We'll just get in nice and close. But either way, Blaze playing it close to the vest. They're not giving up a lot of real estate between the objective and their positions, and that's acceptable because this objective is crazy exposed, and some really weird things have happened to get some caps here.
One popped out through trench, moving up to objective building in south.
Barcel giving away his defensive angle there, but I do think he was known from the very start when he rotated in there. He took some early pre-fire shots. Verds still holding the corner angle as the res is trying to slowly crawl its way up there. He's running out of time though. He's been dead for a while on that corner.
It's one of those situations where you hope you don't get there and get the needle out and touch them with it, and they just die. And there's a little hesitation here. No, Brass not going for the res at all. I think he's going to try and go for the pick first, and as you mentioned, that might not work. That might be exactly what 404 needs to just kick the bucket here. But Brass is going to look anyways, and Verds is a little bit more exposed, so there's a chance Brass could find him. But again, ultimately, the res could be lost. Oh, Brass doesn't have the just enough angle. He can almost barely graze Verds' shoulder.
Yep, there it goes. 404 unresable. Brass has lost his opportunity. Going to be a Blaze advantage, but information was conveyed, so we'll see how Brass works with it. 2:20 on the clock, and look at how far G-Men are away from objective. We talked about them managing their time well. I'm questioning.
This isn't a good example.
Maybe it is, maybe they really do have their time locked down. The man's checking his clock. He's well aware that he's got 2 minutes on there.
Yeah, it's not as close as I'd like to be.
Saved the man. The shots into the window prevented that fire from coming in. Man was desperately calling out the window location, and he's still now alive as he pushes in from this hilltop prone.
Minute and a half, let's go.
120 smokes out, sprinting coming in from all sides. Honestly, North has
They've
been
got
opened
nothing else
up.
to do. Yeah, it has. That did exactly what they kind of needed it to do. The pick got Verd's eyes off of it, which was their best shot at catching the push from this side. Then the shots out towards Cryocell as he returned fire drew all the attention that direction. So Brass could go in here unnoticed, but it looks like Cryocell's picked up the scent. He's got eyes on him, but he can't nail the shots. If he doesn't, Cryo's going to be picked up, and he does. The man manages to get it from the backside. Now Silent's going to have to be the defense there, but Batman manages to find the kill from the window. G-Men know their positioning now. It's a 3v3, 45 seconds left. The G-Men have to do something here. Smokes are coming out towards the objective. The center building's full. Batman still safe for now. Zach Fontaine looking at those stairs. He's hoping for a peek, but he turns and finds Batman as he goes up the steps. They've secured center hotel. 30 seconds left now. Not much time left for them to move. Blaze has the objective pretty well covered. Now the LMG's pouring out fire. They're going to try and suppress it and keep them from moving, but that could come to their disadvantage. Silent Knight will reach out. He'll find one out the door. Zach Fontaine's up on the objective. He's got time. No, Zero's going to find the kill onto Zach Fontaine, and this looks like Blaze going to be able to secure another one. The man, no, he's not going to be able to make it. Silent Knight gets the kill. Blaze find their second defensive round and take the lead on map 3, 2-1.
You know, I'm sitting there watching it, and just from what I saw, I think as Zach got onto that corner, he got hit in the back. The damage to him by his teammate, that causes him to slow down as he's going through the smokes. The LMG fire then clips him just before he got to that corner. If he hadn't been team shot in the back, that could have been a G-Men cap 3-1 right now.
Yeah, no, it very well could have been, and I thought that was going to happen because Silent Knight was preoccupied. And to be fair, I mean, I'm giving Silent Knight a hard time here, so I'm going to be a little disclaimer here. The guy is leading his team in kills at the moment, so please don't take this with a grain of salt. But he's had a little bit of trouble hitting his initial shots. He's not been hitting that initial draw of shots, which are kind of crucial in some of these moments. Zach Fontaine might not have made it across had he hit some of those drawn shots. But, you know, I'm not trying to nitpick him, but it's just something that could have alleviated some of that pressure. But, yeah, great play there from G-Men, really turning around a time pinch, but ultimately a better round from Blaze as they secure yet another Volt round, and we inch closer and closer to the decision that Sleepy said was going to happen.
We do. G-Men having to now defend against a Blaze team that is looking very good in this series so far. Coordinated, communications on point, they're feeling loose, but at the same time they're playing very well together. That defense was a great job of dealing with the chaos. Now I'm curious to see what they do for round number 3, 4, map 3. Those are the numbers.
This is why we don't let NightFiree do the numbers, folks. He's a camera and microphone guy. Man, Blaze doing exactly what G-Men did to them in the last round, to be honest, which is an immense amount of suppressive free fire off of that spawn. 1, to allow them off that hillside, and 2, to keep the defenders from getting into too many juicy locations. But I don't think they really achieved their goal, similar to how G-Men did not achieve theirs against Blaze in the round prior.
You pre-fire the windows. You pre-fire windows.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Watch your bungalows. Watch your bungalows. We had one sneak up on us.
A lot of check fire coming out from the Blaze side right now. Not a lot of accurate fire. I mean, they're just checking hot spots at the moment. They're making sure the G-Men defense didn't push up too aggressively, didn't take too many forward positions, but overall right now, unless they've got drum mags, they're kind of just wasting ammo at this point. A couple of shots will do. If you didn't get any return fire, you don't see another pixel in that window on the slight read from peak. 404 are going to find it. Quick kill on the Cryocell though. As Zero continues unloading his SA-80 drum into those empty windows.
Shots everywhere. Zach also putting some rounds out up over the top on range, and Demon are very tucked in. Not a lot of exposed positions from this squad. They're making sure the angles that they're presenting to themselves are very minimal. 404 is just taking a little sliver here out this window, and that's why that pre-fire from the LMG isn't tagging him.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think both teams aren't going to take any chances here on their defensive rounds. I've seen G-Men play more aggressively on defense on this particular objective with that spawn, but they didn't choose to do so. I think they realize the risk they play right now, being on the losing side of currently this season with the score standings, but also the way this map is turning out right now. So I don't blame them for playing it much safer. In fact, I commend them. I mean, even though it's kind of the obvious choice, but what else do they do here? Downfall isn't necessarily the map that's going to award your aggression or reward your aggression, at least not from this spawn and this objective, not from what I've seen.
Yeah. What's up?
Very curious to see how this north heavy push works against this G-Men defense, because it does honestly seem like a decent approach. Usually they can utilize this crater for the vast majority of their cross. Verds is experiencing a little fire from 404, who's got a good line of sight, but other than that, it does seem like it might be the right choice for Blaze.
Could be. In that time, Zero manages to get the res onto Cryocell, so Blaze back at full capacity with 5. However, they've burned a lot of that hourglass. They only have 2.5 minutes left. Now, to be fair, Verds is quite close. He's within striking distance, and with a pick, with the right pick, or I guess realistically 2, because he would have to get the man and Poopachu to clear this route, but he could make his way up to the objective with little to no opposition. But Poopachu's definitely going to be hearing his chatter with his team on the opposite side of that wall.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be ready for Poopachu's angle down there either. They seem pretty confident that they've cleared out that building. Verds is able to find 404. That's a pretty big pickup and a nice refrag from the man to deny Verds from basically pushing right up towards objective.
Yeah, the approach angle through the crater is now open, however. Brastamouth will find to pick up onto Cryocell. He was basically one hit, though, from his earlier downing. But this approach from the back is very tough. The north side is still very much locked down. It's going to need to come from the south right now. The north's going to need to draw attention. Brastamouth, Poopachu, and Zach Fontaine can all shut down that push towards the objective from the north. So they really need to invest in the south here. They need to clear the man off the center hotel and get their work going from in there. They can take Poopachu out if they get the right peek and know exactly where to look, but getting Brass and Zach Fontaine out of their spots is going to be much, much more difficult. Oh, but he does manage to get Brastamouth out as he looks to support his team. Now he's rotating back on the opposite side of the tower. Zero's going to find the man. That's the center hotel cleared. Now the south side's pretty much cleared if they stay away from Poopachu's line of sight. Zach Fontaine will find the north approach, and now it's all up to the south. Zero finds Poopachu. Zero's going to be still safe. No! The Blaze members are now shooting at each other. They don't realize that that's friendly in the center hotel. Zero's on the move. Zach Fontaine's the last man up. They've got 48 seconds. Still enough time to make moves here, but Zach Fontaine's going to have the advantage as he sees where Zero's coming from. He gets the kill. He then finds the second one with a nice double. Zach saves the defensive round for G-Men, and things are tied up here 2-2.
Huge double kill there for Zach. Getting aggressive like that on the smoke, so incredibly risky. You know, he had his body totally exposed on that crossing, and again, some missed shots going down in that long middle ground there, ending up saving, I suppose, Zach Fontaine's life, or sparing it, if you will, and he's able to then pick up those two as he holds the wall. Yeah, very nicely done there in a clutch scenario. Good job holding on to that round, but man, Blaze, they almost pounced on that objective perfectly.
Yeah, Blaze almost did exactly what we just talked about. Kind of give us that surprise. That south push really started to work. The last guy there, I forget who it was on the side for Blaze, the last man alive up there near APC. He was a little out of positioning with the rest of the team. Had he been a little bit closer, maybe even have found his way like to push along those walls and come up near center sandbags and maybe find a positioning behind the helicopter, he could have supported the push out from Zero and gotten a better chance. But you know, this is all hindsight stuff. Otherwise, a great push and kind of what we saw from G-Men, how they turned around a time pinch. Blaze did the same thing, and I would say almost more effectively.
Either way, it was looking like it was going to be 3-1 there for Blaze. Couldn't have been better, but we keep things even as CP has predicted. Diving into round number 5. Series decider well underway. A nice party VRML action-packed match for you this Thursday night. We appreciate everybody tuning in. We appreciate those gifted and regular subs and Twitch Primes. We appreciate everything you guys do for the league.
We appreciate everything and those recent follows. I see you, Killboy, Dipboy, and a couple of others that recently followed throughout the cast. 404, though, going to find a nice early pick onto the Blaze defense and Silent Knight, and that is not what Blaze wants coming into this very, very crucial next Volt round.
Oh, Poopachu almost throws it away, getting a little over-aggressive, trying to grab a second kill for the G-Men team, but ducks back just in time.
And G-Men, as to be expected, looking to spread out their attack front. If you look at your overhead map, you see them slowly making their way up the eastern side, trying to wrap around towards the north. And admittedly, that probably is the play right now. If you look at Blaze's defense, they're kind of all looking south. They're all bundled up. I mean, they're right on top of that objective. But I don't really see someone with great eyes on the actual objective outside. Oh, okay,
Zero.
maybe zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. I'll shut up now.
How dare you?
How dare I?
Yeah, I do expect this one to take some time before they start and make their push, probably again down to the minute. G-Men sort of adopting a beginner style of offense, honestly. I suppose they've had that in their books for a while now, though.
Yeah, and on Downfall, that's always kind of been the play
true,
for them. They've definitely gotten a bit more aggressive in how they spawn. Like, they're definitely looking for early picks off of some really key positions early on, but they're not necessarily in the realm of motion a very aggressive team, especially on Downfall. But on other maps, they can definitely turn on the juice and get it going when they need to. But yeah, I'd agree that it's very of a beginners or European-esque style gameplay that you see them play on this map, and for good reason. You know, this map obviously much more dangerous. It's very big. It's very open, especially between those cover points. And you know, it's a single life game mode. It's not like you're gonna respawn in 15 seconds. So, you know, do with that what you will.
Taking a little look at the G-Men offense, it's super spread. They're really covering the full half moon around objective, and I imagine it's how they're going to try and approach it. 404 in a super dangerous Overwatch position, honestly. If they are able to take out Zero, who has eyes on objective, then he's got the ability to deny anybody from rotating around and preventing a cap outside.
Which means Zero at this point needs to keep his little mouth shut.
Yeah.
And not shoot his weapon unless somebody is standing outside in capping range of that objective. Because if he moves too much or takes shots out of that window, 404 is going to lock that sight onto that doorway forever and will never let it go.
Now, when you see it, you'll probably never be able to unsee it, but it looks like 404 is doing an Irish jig on the stairs. Gotta wait for him to move around a little bit.
Oh, yep.
We're dancing out here. We're celebrating.
Get it, 404. You feather-footed mother freaker.
Maybe there's a radio up there that we don't know about he's dancing to. Either way, time starting to run out. 1:55. You can see G-Men obviously aware of that as they do start to cinch down on objective.
Yes, they are tightening the noose ever so gently. in order to not array suspicions, Zach Fontaine's now managed to get his way out to the center helicopter, the burning helicopter area.
What is it? You slowly boil a frog, it'll stay in the water?
Yes, because its body can adapt to temperature change up to a certain degree. Zero finds 404 on his push down, but that's going to expose his position. Now Brastamount's looking at it. Zach Fontaine going to try possibly sneaking under the window here. 1 minute, 10 seconds left in the round. G-Men are going to have to start making motion here no matter what. Zero stuck. Zach Fontaine looking through the window. He's going to find Zero. As soon as that happens, now it's open. G-Men have what it takes. This could be the end of the game right here. Zach Fontaine's inside. He's got the pad out. He's coming around. Brastamount is coming. That's going to be it. Zach Fontaine's got all the time and all the space he needs. Batman's got nowhere to go. He can't do anything about it, and Zach Fontaine's got all the time.
He's not going to get it.
There. He's not going to get it. Oh, my goodness. Batman. Oh, my goodness. Zach Fontaine barely able to get the cap out in time. G-Men are going to pull the surprise of the century with the comeback and taking map number 3 and our series.
Wow. They skated by with that one. That was an incredibly close back and forth series. G-Men able to slowly tighten the noose and then cinch it just at the last minute. What was the time on that, too? He must have had 10, 15 seconds left to punch in that code.
Dude, I don't even know what the time was. I was too busy like watching all the different directions of people and lasers and shots and yeah, I don't know. It was close though. It's very close.
Wow.
I mean, when the move started, it was a minute 10, and that was probably 10 seconds before Zach took out Zero. Then you had another 20 seconds. Yeah, I mean, it had to have been close. Like 20 seconds or less. It's definitely 20 seconds or less.
And that, you know, in comparison, those you can see difference in capping skills, right? Zach took almost way too long. You know, he didn't have code memorized. He wasn't ready to go in for that cap versus when you saw. Yeah, true. It could have been hard for him to be punching in
the on the line right there.
True.
One move. That's nerves, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, just no matter what it was, right? The time difference.
Yeah.
That's what does it. So.
What an exciting series, though, huh?
I'm super happy. Like, I'm literally smiling.
Yeah.
Because I'm so glad that was the type of match that I got as my kind of first cast back in the chair after a little hiatus for a moment. But man, oh man. So congrats, of course, to the G-Men for a hard-fought victory, and of course Blaze for those blazing fast caps and plays on Bizarre. Ultimately, they will lose out the series, but put up a heck of a score against the mighty G-Men of this season. NightFiree, final thoughts? Anything else before we head out of here for the night?
That was a real barn burner. That's to say the least.
Yeah, Farmer John called me. He said we really got to stop lighting his barns on fire.
It's hard when you go up against a team called Blaze, all right? So.
But it's okay because you know what? He's got farmers. Bum ba-dum bum 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 bum.
They're not a sponsor. That's not official. Not pay us money. We do not support.
But speaking of sponsors and partners.
Speaking of, a big shout out to ProTube VR and VR Cover for sponsoring the league. We do appreciate the support they give to our top team that comes out of each season. Also a shout out to everybody that stopped in today for this high octane match. We do appreciate the subs, the bits, the follows. We love seeing new faces in here. If you are new, go out to your friends. Tell them about this awesome VR esports match you just watched and bring them in for more action later this weekend. Head on over to vrmasterleague.com/onward where you can see when all the matches are going to be live and where they will be cast. So, with that, I think we are going to sign off. Big grins on our faces and probably on yours too. My name's NightFiree with 2 E's, my co-caster Sleepy with 2 3s. We'll see you guys this weekend.
Good night, everyone.